we go.
All right, I know you spent a lot of time up there, but
Yeah.
how grueling was that out there with those Special Olympians for you?
Oh, it was awesome. Just to see the fun they're having out there, the fun that it brings me, and just them playing football. It's just a game we all started playing when we were young and fell in love with it at that age. I remember playing flag back in the day, and for them to see them go out there running routes, throwing football, scoring touchdowns, just having fun and being into it. That's the biggest thing. You see them communicate and having a wristband and caring about it and loving it. That's the coolest part for me.
What'd you think of the officiating out there?
Yeah, the officiating. It was a little bit of Braves was out there officiating. I thought he did a good job. He was trying to help Team Mass out, which was cool. No, but I think it's really the rules, and it's you try to keep it kind of within the rules. But really, it's just about them having fun, and I think they all want to win. That's the biggest thing I saw. They want to win still.
How was today for you out there?
Where? Oh yeah, I think it was good for us. Good for us to see a defense that does a lot of things. They got us a few times, felt like we got them, so it's good for us to, see that and experience, new defense and kind of very different from Washington and very different from our defense.
Drake, what did you see on the long touchdown to Travion there towards the end?
Yeah, I think they just, they didn't account for him, and just trying to give it to him an easy ball to let him catch and run, and I think it's hard to catch him once he's in the open field.
Matt Collins told us that he punted the ball because he wanted to shift the energy of practice. Could
Yeah.
you sense the same thing as him, and did you feel it had the intended impact?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's there's fans in here, and it's an environment that you expect to be really hostile, and I think we just got to bring our own energy. It's how away games are. You got to bring your own energy, and I think the guys responded well at times, but I think we as a team can do a better job of bringing energy and having some energy when our guys make a play, and when we don't, respond into that.
Hey Drake, with Josh McCown out here, I'm just curious what it was like to go from Myers Park to the NFL.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. With Josh, spent a lot of hours, in quarterback drills and throwing the football with him, and I played with his son, really both his sons in high school. They were my teammates, so I still stay in touch with them. They're great dudes, and it's kind of full circle seeing it come out here and him coaching the NFL is pretty cool.
I saw you hit Travion Henderson on vertical, I think in 7-on-7s as well. Just how much of a mismatch does he provide against guys like linebackers, safeties with his speed?
Sometimes they leave the backs one-on-one, and sometimes that's your best matchup on the field. You got safeties over top of receivers. You got, sometimes a lot of guys in the middle of the field in zone, so sometimes one-on-one with, the running backs. It's great having, I really feel like all three of them, Mondre and Gibby and Travion can, make plays out of the backfield and keeps the defense honest, makes it hard for them.
Drake, so much made of this Brian Flores defense and the scheme and the pressure that he brings to opposing offenses. How did you feel like you guys as a unit handled that today?
Yeah, I think the guys at times, up there up front, I think I can help them out and be more demonstrative about where I want to send them and where I want them to go. But really, I think we blocked it up when we got it right, and I think there's times where they're going to get us. That's what he does. He tries to create kind of chaos, and I think it's good for us to see and know. And sometimes at the line, you may not know, hey, is this guy coming, or they're just bluffing that. So it's good for us to see it, and I think it's great for us to learn from.
Drake, how much did you consult with Garrett Bradbury just to pick his brain on what he was going to see from this defense?
Yeah, I think I consulted with him a lot. I think he obviously lived it throughout practice, and he knows a lot of the guys, personally. And I think for him, it's a different system than what he was doing here in Minnesota, so it's a little different for him. But he said the rules in the offense, just follow that, and he felt like I think the Mike points, they try to move some guys around. One playing safety, then he goes to linebacker, then he's on the edge. So they do a good job of mixing up. And I think when we were on the same page, and I was quick in and out of the huddle, I thought we had a good play.
How much does the combination of practice, but also being here for the joint practices and the preseason game, help you evolve with the Josh McDaniels offense and get you where you need to be for opening
it's great
day?
for me to get new looks. I was bummed out in 2-minute ended in Washington, and I think we had a good first 2-minute into the touchdown. We needed a field goal to tie, so that's always good. And then coming back out of the second 2-minute, I think we had a good first play, and took a sack. I was laying down. You can't do that. So things like that you learn and and if the look's not there, I think in 2 minutes just to find answers and find, hey, learn from that. But I feel like we protect the ball. I feel like I didn't really put it in harm's way, and then it's good for us to see new defenders, guys that are going to be grabbing and holding and maybe have a different skill set than our guys. So it's pretty cool to be out here and get a new look.
Drake, it seemed like Campbell has been acclimating. Obviously, he had some fun moments in the preseason games. What do you continue to see from him?
Yeah, he's a beast. You see a different energy out there, in joint practices and games, and I think just challenge him to bring it every day. And when we're facing our defense, there's no days off in this league. You win a game, you lose a game, you're right back, in practice on Monday or practice on Wednesday. You're back at it with a new team and a new edge rusher that's just as good as the one in the past. So I think challenge. That's what I learned kind of last year. It's a new week, roll it over, And if you play a good game, you got to come back and do it again. If you don't have a good game, you get a chance to answer the next week. And I think him and Jared, especially up front, are learning. There's going to be bad plays throughout practice, so just bounce back from it.
Only a few weeks left before the regular season starts. What do you hope to really work on in the next 3-4 weeks here?
Yeah, I think just continuing to build on what we got. Build on the relationships with the guys. I think just kind of creating a unity within the offense and really within the team to fight for each other. It's a great opportunity out here in the joint practice to play against somebody else and come together as a team instead of kind of being offense versus defense. And really just that. Then just kind of getting used to game planning and how coach likes to do it on offense and just kind of studying the plan and how we're going to execute it when we get to week 1.
Drake, it really seems like Mike is trying to draw more out of you as a leader. And he had some comments about it this morning. So, it's not that you're lacking in that area, but he wants more. Like he wants more from everybody in that area. Does it get annoying when he's on you about that sort of stuff, or do you like being pushed in that way? Is that stood out to you as something that he's focused on?
No, I think I want that. I want somebody to push me to do more for the team, have more of an impact with the guys around me. I feel like if I have that, and I feel like I'm not showing it myself, then I need somebody to push me along. And I think us guys on offense, the big veterans and Mike Owenu and Morgan and Hunter and Mondre and those guys and Steph Diggs are going to challenge ourselves to, hey, Garrett Bradbury in there to push ourselves to lead. And, really I think it starts with me, building those guys. And then from there, I think guys can kind of bounce off and really told those guys to push me because, once I feel like they're pushing me, I feel like I can, give back.
Drake, two final questions, guys. Two final questions.
Drake, do you want to be a captain? Does that matter to you?
I think it's a great honor. I think it's something that you don't take lightly around here, especially with this Patriot teams in the past with the captains they had. You always it's a aspiration to be a captain, but there's a lot of guys on this team that deserve that and have played a long time in this league.
Drake, the coaches mentioned that second and long situations were a big emphasis today. I'm curious, how does that valuable for you as the quarterback, and also how do you feel you executed in those?
Yeah, just finding a manageable third down, that's huge. There's going to be times we got an incomplete pass on first down or maybe a run that didn't go as well. And there's times where you got to be back in 2nd and 10 and get half or try to make a manageable third and down. That's huge in this league.
Thank you, Drake.
So, thank you guys. Yeah.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.